everyone. Welcome. Happy new moon in Leo. I'm your co-host, Brian Hemmer, here with my other host, Isabella Sumner.
Hello.
And as always, new moons, we love to give some information on what to be expecting, what to be focusing on. Each new moon has its own theme based on what zodiac sign that it falls into. And, each new moon is an opportunity for reevaluation, for setting intentions, getting clear on our goals and manifestations. And again, we're honoring the normal movement of the planets, the moon, just as the moon affects your ocean tides. And you have to assume that it has some kind of effect on us as well. So each new moon is an opportunity, setting new intentions. Even if you don't believe in the metaphysical nature of this, it's just another, just like you follow the Gregorian calendar, it's just another marked moment to reevaluate where you're at, where do you want to go, and how can we direct our thoughts in the best way possible. So anything you'd add to that, Isa?
No, I mean, we say it every single time, kind of take what you want, leave what you want, almost like we've got a little charcuterie board in front of you. You get to choose if you like just the idea of having the monthly consistency of somewhere to be. If it's, really wanting to dig into the intentions, you really get to choose how much you want to invest. And then we always say, if you made it here, there's for sure a reason why you are here. So just maybe sitting with that. And as always, if you have questions, Brian and I are always here to support. And we're just really grateful that we get to continue on a tradition that Bill was really invested in, and something that we heavily believe ourselves. So just continuing with that is really special for both of us.
Yep. Well said. So yeah, I guess we could just dive in. What do we got? What's the forecast for new moon in Leo?
Oh, in Leo, speaking of our little Leos. So as we just said, you can decide how much you want to invest within, that person's a Capricorn and this person's a Leo. And, you hear the day old joke of, oh, they asked me for my birthday, you should run away, right? But it's really true that if you look back at how astrology and horoscope was really founded, is that, our stars and our universe plays a pretty prominent role on, our water and our body systems. And so now we're in this bigger picture that we have horoscopes. So this month's new moon is in Leo. Just to quickly discuss, a Leo is, I think, a great, amazing horoscope to be a part of. I'm not trying to fluff your ego here, Brian. Part of the zodiac, they're definitely ones who like being center stage. If you think of the energy of a lion, which is the symbolic character, you've got that like vibrant hair, the big, powerful, almighty roar, the ability to feel. And in all horoscopes, right, there's the dark and then there's the light. So, sometimes people can say Leos have a self-centered attitude. It's not that. It just happens to be they have a lot of love for themselves, and that's what's emanated in their property. And what's really cool about
pride,
Leos,
right?
they are
thinking about
what's up, Brian?
Pride, right? You can have too much pride. Just like you think of your stereotypical lion, right? So yeah. Continue.
I'm on it right now. I'm not discussing you at all, correct?
Yes.
Should we get Amy in here and confirm with her?
Yes, I'm sure she can corroborate some of that. And then, ruled by the sun, right? The sun, all, center of the planets, always shining.
I only speak about Leos this way too, because my rising is Leo. So I have a lot of Leo energy within my chart, and I notice that greatly in certain situations. So they are ruled by the sun, which you figure the sun is our almighty, right? We center around the sun. We are present in terms of it being the center of our solar system. So really it's all about, the Leo teaches us how to command respect through our energy. So that's where that pride comes in. And it can really be a sign that shows you how to show up courageously in moments of fear, It attracts a lot of loyalty and praise just by standing in its authentic selves. And I mean, it truly doesn't care what others think of it. So it's this cool, like I said, you know, you hear they have this want to be the center of attention. It's just because that's their normal life. They know how to do that. They know how to live from the heart. They don't ignore others. They're curious. And that's where we enter into our new moon. So this season is really a time to ask yourself what you are ready to share with the world. It may not come out as your big, crazy, loud roar. And maybe it's one person that you share something with, but it's starting to honor a little more about inner messages that you've been coming, because we've talked a lot about the last few new moons. You know, it's been planting seeds. It's been, okay, what seeds worked, what didn't, how should I water this month? However you want the metaphor to flow. This is now through vulnerability, how you're going to build courage, because if you're not allowing yourself to give the new moon the opportunity to create, because you're not even truly feeling that bright, big energy, the Leo, then, you know, it's kind of telling the universe that I don't even necessarily feel worthy. So it's really a time right now to tell your universe your intentions. What have you maybe been holding back on? What has kept you maybe fearful? What is there a need for evolution? And really setting intentions can be one thing, but it's committing to them emotionally on another level. And right, we talk about that. It's the energy that comes behind. I think I come to this one a lot, but it's so powerful. The I had a dream speech. It's like, I wake up, I go to the gym, versus I wake up, I get to put my workout clothes on, I'm going to go work out. It's like, it's the energy that shifts that brings the Leo's sun power of being courageous, being able to walk with that confidence chest, with the big wild mane, and command something around you without it coming across as anything other than just love, courageousness, and vulnerability. So the other big thing that's working right now is we actually are dealing with a Venus retrograde. So I bring this up only because it is very active under the new moon. And then again, we dissolve a little bit further into what's a retrograde. We talk about probably hearing Mercury retrograde a lot. So other planets can go retrograde. And the best way I explain retrograde is it's just the sensation or the thought that something is moving away. You're sitting in your car, it's parked, the car next to you starts to move, you kind of feel like you're moving. That's the same things that happens in a planetary retrograde, is it shifts things. So Venus retrograde is really more talking about boundaries in terms of learning to navigate conflict and learning to rock away, especially with relationships with others. So Venus being the one of love doesn't necessarily have to mean in relationship to others. This is where that Leo new moon could really maybe illuminate a message that you have radiating within yourself, right? What are you not sharing openly? What are you maybe whispering that needs to be heard louder, with love, with intention, and with a lot of power, that is going to start to really reveal itself as this new moon starts to take in effect. Basically just really getting down into the nitty gritty, right? Your intention, love them as if they're real and as if they're yours and if they already exist. Pulled this from one of the journals that I use to pull information for a new moon. And I just really like that, right? Your intentions, love them as if they're real, as if they're yours, and if they already exist. It's putting that energy back in and allowing the invitation to say, like, I'm taking on this fiery energy. I'm taking on my Leo sign to basically put myself in the limelight and allow this space to basically pour over me, so that I know that I am not only worthy of the intentions that I have in front of me, but I am excited for them and I can't wait to share them with other people, because that's also where our energy steps into place, right? The more you talk about something, the more you think about something. I mean, if your intention involves, let's say, buying a new car, maybe it's printing the picture of the car out and having it somewhere. It's having it on the background of your phone so you see it. It's creating the life and the energy and the love that comes in with just that Leo energy.
Is that Ziva?
Yeah, my puppy dog came to visit.
Love it. Yeah, I think that's all very well said. That's what I pretty much pulled out of the couple articles I read. Really it's just this theme and emphasis around facing your fears, or what would it look like to, live more courageously, and really living from the heart. And what does that authentic, expression of yourself look like? So, again, in setting intentions, what are maybe some things that that have held you back, or fears that you've had, or you haven't done something out of fear? Well, how can you harness that inner Leo energy, the passion, as Isa was saying, that fire in you to face the fears and live from the heart, live authentically to help accomplish your dreams. So
well, and there's a lot of dichotomy, you figure, because the new moon is representational of being dark. And then we have this fiery, bright energy coming through within Leo. So not only do you have something that is ruled by the sun, countering something that is the moon and is very dark. And where do you find that balance in the middle of, showing up with the bright energy and being okay with radiating and using the surface that is the dark space to illuminate a lot of, whether it be a message, again, intention, maybe even just a pattern that's showing up for yourself, that you get to take the opportunity to really challenge and change, because the Leo has pride and walks in with confidence. And even if they're not going to succeed, they don't know, because they're like, heck yeah, I'm going to do it because I'm a Leo and I'm great. It's that confidence and that ego that sometimes can be seen as a negative. In reality, is a very powerful tool to know how to harness and live into, just from the space of, especially when you're talking about things that not only you want, but are going to further and successfully support you in your growth and your pattern and your change.
Yeah. Love it. I was going to make a point. So the way I understand it is, it doesn't matter if your sign is Leo or not. Everybody, no matter your sign, can harness the power or the energy of Leo, but it's maybe just more amplified for people who do have Leo as either their main zodiac or their rising sign. Is that right?
Yeah. So again, this is something that if you ever wanted to learn more, a birth chart reading is a great way to do it. There's resources online. I can do birth chart readings. There's apps out there. And the way that it's broken down is, you've heard the day old of like, what's your sign? Oh, I was born here, so I'm this. And then you've got your sun, which is the one that based off your birth date. You've got your moon, your rising, and then you actually have a number of houses. So it's not uncommon for you to maybe be like, oh, well, I'm a Capricorn, I don't have any Leo, but maybe you find that you have Leo in your 5th house or your 8th house, depending on which, all those correlate then to aspects of your life. That could be career, it could be love, it could be relationships. So it dials in different ways. For some people, the full moon energy in Leo can be challenging because their signs might be opposite of one another. So it might be coming up for you in a different way, because Leo energy in general is hard for you to be around because it conflicts what you have in your chart. It could be that you are a Leo, you love being in Leo, it's your time to shine. And then, 2 months from now, we're going to be into Sagittarius, and the Sagittarius community is a little bit more about the collective. And you don't like, not necessarily being about the collective, but it comes from a different place. And then as you further learn, there's other aspects of your chart, like the rising sign, which includes your north node and your south node, which is said to be, your one node is where you were in a past life, and your other node is where you're going to. So possibly what you would maybe grow into. And then from there, you can start to see, like, do I have patterns of people in my life? Like I, for example, have a lot of Capricorn in my chart, and I have a node that is Gemini, and I have a lot of Geminis in my life, and they can be very challenging for me because in a zodiac aspect, they're two very different people. And I'm a Capricorn, and I'm pretty much one person most of the time. So I can deal sometimes with the struggle, but that is in my chart to help teach me whatever lesson is now coming up. And then when you again start to dig in a little bit further with your chart and learning more about what the houses represent, it can actually sometimes support you maybe in like, why do I struggle with love? Like, what sign is your Venus in? You know, your Venus might maybe be in a chart that is Scorpio. Scorpio have a tendency to not be as vulnerable or have a harder time exposing themselves. Therefore, love might be challenging. And that's where then again, you asked a very simple question and I added extra layers to it. Yes, if you were looking at how the Leo new moon might affect you, it could be beneficial to learn about what's in your chart because you might have a little more grasp or maybe draw to this new moon. I always say though, when you feel like something is going on, just Google what's happening with like stars and planets because they might actually be playing a part. You know, Mercury retrograde, you can giggle all you want about Mercury's retrograde, like hide your wife, hide your kids, but there's truth in the fact that there's a communication channel drastically being blocked. So how does it reflect in what's happening with your technology and what's happening with your conversations with a loved one? And why does it feel challenging? Because there is a physical shift happening within our planetary system that might be, you know, causing issues for you.
Yeah. Awesome. And yeah, it's amazing like how much more how accurate and just well, what's the word I'm looking for, articulated or well described the full birth chart is for. I mean, when I looked at mine the first time, I was like blown away because I always thought, yeah, it was just, oh, I'm just, my main sign is Leo and that's who I am. And, but that's not always the case. And it just adds more complexity and it makes it more real or, you know, closer to you when you look at all the elements, the houses, the rising, all of it. It's pretty mind blowing.
Well, I think to your point exactly is it kind of puts the puzzle pieces together because I know people's hardest challenge to understand with horoscopes is not a lot of people always relate to the characteristic traits of your sun sign. So again, I'm a Capricorn and there's certain aspects of the Capricorn that I'm like, I don't relate to that. That's not me. But then I look at my moon sign. So the sun is your identity, your moon is your inside thoughts, and then your rising is like the attitude, the personality that you give off. And when I learned that I was a Leo that had a Capricorn sun and an Aries moon, I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense because I'm not all the things that are described underneath one window. I can actually see where the other aspects start to break down for myself. And then what's really cool in today's day and age, there's also not only can you get birth charts, you can do a astro cartography. So it's a birth map. And it takes your birth time and date and actually charts it off of like places on the planet where because of your sign, you're going to be more afflicted to be, or you might have challenges here. It could be a good place for you financially. And again, take it with a grain of salt, but it's cool to also pull those details because you might learn of like, oh, I went on a trip to insert place here, Greece, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I felt my whole self. Why is that? Probably because there's an aspect to your birth chart that lives there. And yeah, it sounds weird to tell people that, but there's so much power that our universe and our world does in terms of giving us a planetary place and then also an earth place.
Yeah. Cool. Well, want to pull some cards?
Yeah.
And real quick, I don't think we mentioned it, but the actual new moon occurs officially on 3:38 in the morning Mountain Time on August 16th. So for the sake of doing intentions, generally within 24 hours of that time is best. So what deck are you working with?
No surprise here.
Cool.
Messages from your angels. What deck are you working with?
I've got the tarot.
Love.
Illuminati. Interesting. This just flipped up as I was
Hmm.
the moon,
Okay.
apropos. Let's see what we got. I can find it. Here we go. The moon, magical, mysterious, emblematic of the unconscious and invisible realm of dreams, imagination, and psychic impressions. Interpretation represents the link between the spirit and the earth, or the spirit and matter, or sun and earth. The moon symbolizes what we feel and how we respond, emblematic of all that is instinctive and irrational. The moon affects everything and everyone on earth, from the ocean's tides to the moods and reproductive cycles of humans. When it appears in a reading, suggests that you should pay more attention to your inner self, your lunar self. In its diffuse light, you can often see more clearly than the glare of the noonday sun. The light of the sun enables you to see the world around you, but the moon illuminates what springs naturally from inside you. Pay attention to your dreams, feelings, instincts, and intuition. There's a lot more here, which will take me a while to read through, but essentially, I mean, everything we already talked about today. I mean, it's a great time, you know, in these new moon periods where, being able to see within yourself, listen to, your intuition, listen to that voice inside you. Looking at the card again here, the instinctive. So we've got a dog and a wolf. Not sure exactly what. I read that as just the animal side of you, right? Your more instinctive part of you. But yeah, again, new moon's just a great time to peer into the subconscious or unconscious and listen to that inner calling, and add that into the intentions for this time. So,
Well, as I just said too, the moon is your emotional inner side. So when we talk new moons, that's why when you asked of like a Leo, it's more of probably what your moon sign is that will relate to the new moon. That's why sometimes it can feel more comforting, more challenging, etc. But the intentions are supposed to be your feelings being placed out and supporting in your long-term goals. I pulled two because that's what fell out. The first one is Akasha, which feels like there's like little solar flares. You are a spiritual teacher. You have the ability to counsel others and help them awaken their spiritual gifts and divine life mission. And then actually one that I've never pulled, but I kind of wanted to pull is Isabella.
oh, look at that.
Not my Leo energy, feeling very loved right now. Yes, the timing is right for this new venture. A happy outcome follows your positive intent expectation. So Akasha, you've already helped many people by giving them guidance, advice, and messages. You have a natural gift for delivering just the right words, along with a healthy dose of comfort and inspiration. Now we urge you to be available for even more people. Your heart will tell you whether your teaching work will consist of writing, speaking, giving workshops, or counseling, or you may be guided to spontaneously help people who you meet at the store, at school, or at work. Please know that you are absolutely qualified and that we angels back you up with our supportive energy and loving words. This is your divine life purpose. Ask us to help you with your teaching work, and what we will do everything we can. Which, I just take that as the Leo energy is the one that walks in is like, hell yeah, I'm qualified to do it. Whether they've typed on a computer before or spoken a language, they're going to be the ones that just say, sure, because even if they don't know, they will know. And then Isabella is an answer to your question. Yes, this situation is everything you hoped it would be. It is still a good idea to keep your eyes open and pray for angelic assistance along the way. Even ideal situations require adjustments as you move forward. However, we angels foresee smooth sailing with this decision. This opportunity is even more favorable because of the timing. Several pieces of the puzzle have now fallen into place, and you have also learned some invaluable lessons that have prepared you. Your patience has paid off, and it is now time for you to reap the rewards. Take bold steps while listening to the wise guidance of your heart as you move forward fiercely. Which, again, I mentioned it earlier, this whole year we've been talking about a lot of the different dynamics of our new moon, because Brian, we've been doing this for 6 months now consistently, and each one has been a lot about like planting the seeds, redefining, rewatering, replanting, and now it's like this Leo new moon is giving you the energy to say, you've done all the work up to this point. You just have to be 100% in the fact that you know exactly what you want. Don't try to sugarcoat it and say anything else. Like, stay very in line with everything you've put, because the answer is yes. You know, we hear you and you're on the right path. So I just think that that's where that really falls into place with this current cycle and this current month.
Yeah. Cool. And one thing that came to mind with Akasha was there was this the theme of leadership that is connected to the Leo as well, you know, so how you're showing up or how you're expressing yourself, how that ultimately helps others, whether it is teaching or you being a leader, you know, speaking your truth, you know, has an influence on people, and you can serve people in great ways by letting that piece of you shine. So cool. Well, anything else?
No, I feel great.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for watching or listening. Best of luck with your manifestations and intentions. Any final words of wisdom?
No, you know where to find us as always. If you have any further comments, questions, need support or guidance, we have got lots of tools out there. The website, I believe Brian usually links everything in terms of, you know, finding an area to reach out. Please let us know. We're here to continue to just support the evolutionary growth of what the inevitable you is, and just find that continued community that was being built. And I think we all still really crave and want, especially after, you know, the last few years of being somewhat told that we couldn't be together as a community. So really just redefining what that means. And from one loving rising Leo to a true birth Leo across the state, we think we're great. We want you to also think you're great. So just come be great with all of us, right? We can let our little manes blow in the wind as we take on our next big ventures that we have ahead of us.
Yeah, love it. And yeah, like Issa said, reach out to either one of us if you are interested in even a more personal tarot reading or something like that, even personal coaching, something that we specialize in. So we're here to support. Reach out any way that is best and easiest for you. So happy new moon, and look forward to the next one.
We'll see you. Thank you.